Hello Year 10. So today we're going to be looking at your patient care overview work from last lesson, and we're going to be doing a bit of self-assessment and improvement. So to that end, you need to make sure as your very first task today that you have access to your work from last lesson, so you have that in front of you. You will also want some highlighters or colours, and you need to have actually written your answer. So if you didn't do last lesson's work, you need to go back and do that before you can do today's. So just a reminder then that your question was to outline the changes in patient care from around the year 500 to present day. You have some success criteria, which is that it should be in chronological order. It should include all time periods, so medieval, early modern, 18th and 19th century, and modern up to present day. You should have lots of specific detail and facts in there, and you should round it out with an overall outcome. In addition to that, we get up to 4 additional marks for accurate spelling and grammar and use of specialist terminology. So you need to be mindful of that as well. The first task I would like you to do, please, is in your own answer, and this shouldn't be anything new to you, we do this all the time, I want you to colour code, or you can annotate where you see examples of the success criteria. So I would probably be annotating chronological order, but things like linking connectives I would be highlighting, and specific knowledge I would be highlighting as well in a different colour. So pause here, complete that analysis, and then come back. So now that you've identified where those things have happened, hopefully you'll be able to understand where it meets the mark scheme. So what you're going to do now is you're going to use these mark schemes to help you to give yourself a mark, and I'm going to talk you through how you're going to do that. You also need to explain why you have given this mark. So in the actual mark scheme, so for your 16 marks, you get it split into AO1 and AO2. So we need to be mindful of that. We're going to be giving ourselves a mark for AO1 out of 6. And we'll also be giving ourselves a mark for AO2 out of 10. Okay, so that gives you a total out of 16, and then we're going to give plus whatever out of 4 for SPAG. Okay, so your marks are going to look like this. Now, if you have got lots of examples of knowledge, so you've highlighted lots and lots of specific knowledge in your answer, then you're going to be up in this 5 to 6 marks. So that means maybe 2 pieces of specific knowledge per time period, okay? And anything less than that, obviously take it down. If you then for AO2 have given, first of all, a chronological answer. If your answer is not chronological, then we can't get past band 2. So if in your analysis you have not been able to identify that you've gone medieval, early modern, 18th and 19th century, and then modern, it's not in chronological order. If you've kind of told me a bit of the story, but not necessarily thought about what changed between them, then you're going to, again, be down in the band 1 or band 2. If you've been able to give lots of linking connectives, that's where you move into band 3 and above, okay? The process of change part is when you are talking and you're linking it to contextual events. So for example, I might link the fact that patient care changed during the Industrial Revolution because there was a huge increase in population and that had a direct impact on the need for patient care. Okay, so it's understanding the general context of the time is what puts you into band 4. So you give yourself a mark for AO1 and AO2, and that gives you your total out of 16. So if I'd given myself 4 for AO1 and 5 for AO2, I'd have 9 out of 16. You then need to look at your SPAG, and if you've got general accuracy, most of your words are spelt correctly, and you've made an attempt to use specialist terms, then that's going to be around 3 marks. If you have spelt consistently well, so that might be that you have made the odd spelling mistake, but generally it's all good, and you've tried to use a really wide range of specialist terms, then that's where you're going to get into your 4. So I'll have done that, and then underneath you need to make sure that you say, I have given myself this mark because. And remember that you can use the language from the mark scheme or the success criteria to help you to explain that. So pause here, give yourself your marks, and then come back. So you've had a look at your answer. Now we're going to have a look at a model answer. This was me writing. I spent 30 minutes on this. So I didn't go over the time period, I used it appropriately. What I want you to do is the same thing as you did for your answer. So you're going to highlight and annotate where you see the success criteria. So for example, I can see straight away, I've said here, in the medieval era, patient care was largely managed by the church. So that's going to be knowledge, whatever I'm going to use. Let's say if I was using blue for knowledge and specific detail, that's some of my knowledge there. Sick people were cared for by monks and nuns in monasteries. The primary purpose of these hospitals were for care and rest, not treatment. Patients were prayed for to help them to get better. There were several different types of patient care. So this is all knowledge because at this point we've got nothing to compare it to. Okay, so it's fine if in your in your first paragraph that there isn't that much linking connectives. However, that changes in the next time period. So if I'm looking at my linking connectives here, the role of the church in patient care diminished. So that means it got less in the early modern era. This was largely as a result of Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries in the 1530s. So that would be knowledge. I would be switching back to blue there. Consequently, here we go, towns found themselves with a lack of patient care. Voluntary charities set up hospitals. This is all knowledge. Endowed hospitals were given royal funds in places such as London with high populations. This meant that hospitals began to specialise, such as St Mary Bethlehem, which had a site concentrated upon looking after the mentally insane. By the 1570s, hospitals began to employ medical staff such as barber surgeons. So we've got there lots of linking connectives and lots of specific knowledge. I would also have annotated between them that we have some chronology here. Okay, so you need to go through the rest of the answer to help you to do that. You can either print this off, or there is a PowerPoint version that you can stick text boxes on or annotate. If you change the saturation on the boxes, it actually makes them go clear, so you could put a box over the text and turn down the saturation, and then it would mean that you can see through it. Whatever works for you, but you need to be finding where this model answer is doing those things. So pause here, complete that, and then come back. Okay, so now what I want you to do, that you have compared those two answers, is you're going to answer these questions. The first question I want you to answer is, how does the model answer compare to yours? So where are there similarities between the model answer and your answer? Is there an equal level of linking connectives? Does your answer have the same depth of specific detail? Does your answer come to an overall outcome like this one does? What about the specialist terminology? So how does this model answer compare? And then I want you to think, if necessary, what do you need to do to your answer to bring it up to the level of this model answer? So answer those two questions and then come back. Okay then, your final task today is that I would like you to take a look at your answer now, and based on your work today, I just want you to take the opportunity to make those necessary improvements to your work. You've already identified what it is that you need to do, so now you just need to do it. Normally in class I would ask you to rewrite. On this occasion I'm going to tell you that you can just add it in if you wish to do so, or if you want to have a perfect example, then please do have a go at that rewrite. If you have any questions, give me a shout, and good luck.